137 consecutive crowds of better than 100,000 in Michigan Stadium. Could likely, by the end of the day, be the largest crowd ever to see Baylor Bear football. The previous biggest crowd ever right here, 1975, 104,000 plus in a 14-14 tie. Michigan wins the toss. They defer. Jay Feely ready to kick to either Elijah Perkins, 29, or 22. The senior speedster, Gerard Douglas. Michigan off their demolition job over Colorado, number 9 in the country, and they hope on their way up with a bullet this year. All right, and David is Jeff Watson in the eye from the 35 after Feely's kick goes out of bounds. And the first give of the day to Douglas, who's got a little room around the end and spins forward for about 8. 404 total yards in a 1-1 start with Watson at quarterback, Douglas the number 2 all-time rusher, and Anthony Overstreet, a senior from Tatum, Texas, coming off the best game of his career, 97 yards, 2 scores at Fresno. Domel, a pretty good target at tight end. Anderson and Thompson have combined for between them 17 catches. They lack some speed. Johnson, Fletcher, Williams, Davis, a 4th-year starter, and Garman up front for the Bears. 7 officially for Douglas. Play fake. Watson to a wide open Overstreet, who has a first down. Williams, Renas, and Steele, who was superb last week. 6 tackles, 4 of them came behind the line, including 2 sacks. The linebackers will blitz early and often. And they feature James Hall, Clint Copenhaver, Sam Sword, a holdover starter, and Eric Mays, a great story, former walk-on, elected captain by his teammates this year. Watson with the option keeper. And close for another first down. But you also have Weathers, Marcus Ray, 104 tackles last year as a sophomore, 2nd team in the All-Big Ten. And Tommy Hendricks is the starter at safety. We do expect to see Dadrian Taylor back. Baylor rolling on the ground on this first series, and Douglas not quite able to squirt through a little bit of a seam. On knowledge of the scheme, knowledge of what is going to be there for the taking.
Prior to the snap, we have a delay game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Down is still second.
Dave Roberts.
They don't want these 2nd and longs, Dave.
4 wideouts on 2nd and 15, and the swing is to Overstreet, who almost reaches the original line of scrimmage. So from the shotgun, now something Baylor fans are used to seeing. 4 wideouts on 3rd and 12, and Watson with some time. But no room, and hit at the 40.
Good job thus far this year. He's averaging over 45.
Push down to about the 15, where Woodson is buried under a pile of Brian Greasy, who is getting nothing but rave reviews from people who used to be his critics here in Ann Arbor. A much improved, more mature package as a senior, and the swing to Howard, who picks his way near the 30, fumbles it, and Baylor has it at the Michigan 29-yard line. So can the Bears take advantage from inside the Wolverine 30? Douglas gets the call, reverses field, will lose 5. Let's go. So on another 2nd and long, Watson with 4 wideouts, 3 of whom are on. He throws back the other way, and Mark Cockle is near the 25-yard line. Back of the eye on 3rd and 8, and Watson will keep on the option. Turn it upfield. One man needing to get a block on Weathers, not able to do it. So you'll see a little of everything from us today. The old and the new for Baylor offensively. Here's Douglas. Maybe one. Not allowing a first quarter touchdown. Watson with a pitch. Here's Douglas with room, but knocked out at the 2. A touchdown saver. From the 2, from the eye. A marker down. Douglas in a foot race to the corner, gets in. If the penalty is against Michigan, it's touchdown Baylor. But it is holding Baylor, and it's coming back. So still goal to go, but from the 13-yard line, Douglas is out. Elijah Perkins is in, and the throw back into the teeth of the defense is almost intercepted. Only Mark Huddle in Watson's Field division. So Matt Bryant is on to attempt a 30-yarder straight on. This is his third field goal try of the year. Garner Simpkins is the holder. And it is barefooted up and good by the sophomore out of Orange, Texas. So not the 7 they thought they had, but Baylor settling for 3 early on at Michigan.
A fluke kick.
Atterbury hangs this one right at the 30. Now the Michigan offense with Greasy Howard and Demetrius Smith, as we said, for Chris Floyd, the senior fullback who has been suspended for violating an undisclosed team rule. That announced just this morning. Just a 1-game suspension. He will be back for Notre Dame. Jeremy Tooman, great game last week. And Shaw, the holdover wideouts. Howard with 2 markers down as he reaches the 40.
It's Jansen on the hold.
Slant to Clarence Williams, broke a tackle and is close for a first down at the 45. Got away with that one on Clarence Cruz, the Baylor backer. Howard, a gaping hole in another Michigan first down, a pickup of 13. Up front, Backus, Hutchinson, Adamy returns after missing last week. He had started 23 previous games, missed last week because of an ankle. Zeman and Jansen on the offensive line for Michigan.
They're close, though, Dave.
Greasy wide open. This is Russell Shaw out of the tackle, and another Wolverine first down. Defensively, Baylor trying to make it back to where they were 2 years ago, one of the best units in the country. Last year, one of the worst.
Would he be a walk-on or a thumb on?
Well, he's both. Howard, another big hole inside the 15 to the 10. Linebackers Cruz, Littleton, and Parker. And the Baylor secondary, which has been called on for a lot of tackles already. Anderson, Cody, their leading tackler, 19 coming in, Smith, and Neal here in Ann Arbor. And unbeaten in September. Not much room for Howard this time, but they knew they would. Charles Woodson coming out wide right. On second down, they slant him in. Woodson leaping, touchdown. Back on the extra point by Craig Baker. And Michigan 7-3 over Baylor. 5:39 to go in the first period. The Woodson factor already felt at the Big House. Iowa State, check your local listings. The difference at this point, Darius Thompson in motion. Douglas again looks for room outside and finds none.
He has great speed.
But they have been able to match his speed so far, for the most part. On target. And maybe at first, it's their 4th all-time passing leader at Baylor. And a chance to finish first. This is Perkins, almost out of the tackle by Andre Weathers.
Number 13, Darius Thompson. Great block.
Play fake and over the middle. Thompson repaid for his effort. He'd love to know he's going to get 2.8 seconds every time he drops back. Perkins, I just have a hard time seeing him at fullback. He is somewhere around 270 for Michigan. Watson keeps right at midfield. And no further. Another Baylor delay penalty. At the top of the list has to be error-free football. They have a takeaway defensively, but too many errors on this side, and not any room for Overstreet. He waits at his 15. Michigan setting up the return. And the marker is down as Woodson. And Michigan taking over at the 28. Play fake, looking deep for Ty Streets. In and out of the hands and apparently tipped away. All the help they can get on the defensive side. Williams. And a 3rd and 5. Big Demetrius Smith in and the offset I fullback. Batted away, intended for Shaw, and an interceptable ball. Not a good snap, but Jason Vincent handles it and gets a nice bounce, which Cogdell allows to roll all the way down to the 16. Overstreet is the lone setback for Baylor. And Overstreet a block away from really busting that one big.
That was clean there.
This first quarter.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, down and still first.
In this first quarter, which has run its conclusion at Michigan Stadium, Baylor with an early chance held at 3. Michigan an impressive drive to go up, and that's where we are after 7-3 in Ann Arbor. First and 15 as we begin the second quarter, and Watson tees off on Morris Anderson. Watson to Anderson connection, make it 2nd and 20. And play fake to Perkins. Watson away from Hall, running out of room, and then looks up and almost had Bradley Domel, his 3rd and 20. Trying to get the screen set up. You can't read it any better than Michigan defensively. Atterbury loses his footing as he lets that punt fly. Michigan's going to set up along with Demetrius Smith in the backfield. Over the middle, first catch today, Jeremy Tooman inside the 25 for 22 yards. Colorado Buffaloes with a knowing nod. They saw way too much of that a week ago. Howard the lone setback and room up the middle to the 12 where it's another first down. Howard again, same play, near the 5. True freshman Ray Jackson, 35, is checked in. At fullback, we're again Chris Floyd suspended by Lloyd Carr today. Howard, 3 straight through the middle, will high step it in. Baker adds the extra point. It is 14-3 Michigan. Well, coming in, the obvious vulnerability. Douglas and Perkins awaiting the kick by Feely. This is Elijah Perkins. 180-pounder to 22, especially so far this afternoon. Rolled right into the waiting arms of an offensive lineman. 17 knockdowns 2 weeks ago against Fresno State, a.k.a. pancakes for Orlando Pace fans. Most of the Baylor receptions. Corner blitz threatened by Michigan. Watson dragged down on the option for maybe one. Woodson waiting, a very low kick, but a long one right over the head of Woodson. Finally runs it down at the 2. And the return ends at the...
So he's had a good year.
Well, he did. It's a whole lot better than that now. That'll help the curve. Shaw in motion. Howard finally bottled up. Really the first time Howard for 2, second and 8, and again Shaw in motion. And Clarence Williams is buried. This is a story that's going to take a while. Blitz by Parker. Good call against it. And a first down for Howard to the 24. 17 yards.
Rudy wasn't that good, Dave.
No, Rudy got a bus ride all the way, as I recall, to South Bend. Greasy has Williams. Breaks one tackle that's away from the safety Smith and on up the sideline where they mark him out. Another blitz look by Baylor on a 3rd and 3, and Greasy on target, and somehow Streets hangs on. Did so, but Greasy had to pass off just in the nick of time. This is a promising true freshman, Anthony Thomas, out of Winfield, Louisiana.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Down remains second.
Got it off ahead of the blitz to Howard. Chris Howard broke a tackle and picked up the first. Very solid first half by Brian Greasy. 8 of 10 for 99. Thomas for about 9. Greg Hope will be the future of the Michigan rushing game. Very high expectations for Anthony Thomas. And you see why. Thomas ran through as if he wasn't there. 1st and 10 Michigan. 4.5 minutes first half. Thomas again, and this time the Bears are ready.
They are answering their critics in this football game if they can continue to execute like this.
Mike DeBoard right there, offensive coordinator. Draw play, Thomas. Inside the 25. By Streets and Marcus Snyder wide right. Greasy though looking left, and it's Williams out ahead of the linebacker coverage to the 14. Another first down.
Until the first down is achieved.
Out of 2 tight ends, Howard looked for the springing block by Mark Campbell.
Superb command of football, as you would expect him to, growing up in a family with his dad, Bob.
Relentless Michigan march. It's 15th play. Williams breaks a tackle, cuts it back, and reaches the 1 where it's 1st and goal. I guess ruptured appendix, cost him 40 pounds. Loop at the goal line, and Chris Howard does get in. Michigan touchdown. And the extra point for Craig Baker. A 16-play march. 92 yards after the 72-yard Atterbury punt, and it's 21-3.
7 minutes off the clock. They're playing well against a lower-ranked team.
Neely keeping it away from Gerard Douglas. Perkins. And now, even though Watson's been accurate so far, here comes Michigan with a chance to tee off. And that is going to be some trouble for Watson. He doesn't get some quick releases. This handoff is for maybe 1.
Forcing the offensive line of Baylor to completely adapt their blocking patterns.
Right, he says, don't call us a 4-3 or a 3-4. We'll have all kinds of different looks. Morris Anderson. Close for the first. Baylor 1-1, a loss at home to Miami. And 2 weeks ago, a 2-point win at Fresno State. High snap, Perkins. Close.
But again, we've got the 3-4 look up front with Woodson coming off the corner.
Woodson on one corner, Hendricks on the other, and he had Mark Cogdill, but right off his left hand. Here they come again. Not bad protection. But the pass so low that Morris Anderson had to take it on a knee.
Michigan will call a timeout if they can, if this is not completed.
Going deep for Douglas and way overthrown.
Well, they won't have to call a timeout.
Well, they don't want to risk the block punt or the return, so they will allow Overstreet to run out the final seconds of the first half. And Michigan, from 3-0 behind, storms back behind. A couple of touchdowns by Chris Howard and one by Charles Woodson. So 21-3 for number 9 Michigan at the half. Let's go to the studio and Kyle Atterbury drives this one low. And Clarence Williams has the return out to the 31-yard line. Twice on offense, he scored on one of those. On his first 2 offensive contributions of the season, he led directly.
But there we see it again on the other side.
Aaron Shea, the second tight end, goes in motion as Chris Howard takes the carry.
No need to take chances.
More eye-popping numbers last week, 21 of 28 for 258. Another little underneath completion. Williams almost Frank Hutchinson's quick feet, former defensive lineman out of Coral Springs, Florida. Greasy made sure that one was not interceptable for Robert Neal, but
officials are probably talking about is whether this was be judged to be a catchable ball. Obviously, they believe that it was.
Greasy now ready to go deep for Streets, and this one is overthrown by 5 yards as again
decided to get better. Here we see Woodson again.
And Mike DeBoard again. Williams to Woodson on the reverse, and Rodney Smith, to say the least, was ready for him.
Yes, a starting player.
Concentrating on football now. Greasy on 3rd and 19. Again trying to hook up with Streets, and again overthrown. Bad snap. Way over Jason Vincent. Manages to get something of an effort off, and it's going to roll to the 41-yard line. And a block for Darrell Bush for Baylor, which could easily have been a touchdown. Lucky that they got -4 on the punt, and Douglas off tackle for about 3. Douglas back outside the 40. Well, they stay in the eye on 3rd and 9. Watson's pass deflected, incomplete. So Atterbury will just try to play the field position game, and Woodson with the fair catch. Baylor a 3 and out. Atterbury has him pinned at the 8, and Michigan only too happy to take it over there.
Jeff will get himself together, I'm sure.
Chris Howard and a quick reacting Baylor defense. Let's get an update. Scott Dreisbach and Brian Greasy not this year. Greasy's job from the start. Williams weaves for a first to the 20.
As being a team man and doing what you can to help win, it may need him any play.
Dreisbach back for one more year. He is just a junior. That one overthrown for Aaron Shea. And gave the Tide a 3-point win. The good and the bad. So far this year, we've seen only the good from Greasy. Howard picks his way, spins to the 35. So far reminiscent of the 92-yard, 17-play scoring drive in the first half. That one overthrown for Williams.
Handing the ball off twice in that situation created a tough situation for his team.
Here comes Williams. Down to the sideline. Yes, they tested Charles, and they got the predictable results in the first half. Streets on a little slant in for the first. Motion from Shaw, 2 tight ends, and Williams around the right side. The last gasp.
You want that ball in the outside arm.
Youth being served now in the backfield for Michigan. 2 true freshmen, and here's Thomas. Again, Cody saves 6. A busy afternoon, busier than he would prefer. Michigan rolling toward 200 rushing yards. Thomas off tackle. Mean, he is a load. Matt Anderson had it. They have all year, Bill, the top 3 Baylor tacklers coming in all DBs. Thomas to the 3. Markers down like that in their past.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Down is still first.
Those last year 7th in the Big Ten in rushing. You never expect to see Michigan there. Williams. Cody 3 or 4 times on this drive. Freshman backfield again. Jackson and Thomas. Thomas for his first college touchdown.
Another excellent block by his freshman friend, Ray Jackson, number 35.
At the big house. Baker just does fit that one inside the right upright for the extra point. Anthony Thomas has Michigan up 28-3. Not so today. Bergens from the goal line. Get an update
at Air Force.
Overstreet strung out for a loss. Watson pass again, batted down all the way back. Over the middle and too tall for Bradley Domel. Another 3 and out for the Baylor Bears. An afternoon that he will have very many fond memories of as he looks back. Russell Shaw on the return this time of the Atterbury punt. 2 flags are down as Shaw cuts it back inside the 30.
Looked like number 16, Brent Washington.
1975, also the only previous meeting between these two. That was 14-14 tie between defending conference champions. Back to the veteran backfield after good results by the freshmen. Thomas and Jackson slant in. Williams to the 44. Marcus Knight, the motion man. There you go, Williams again. Spins out of a hit. He has had a terrific ability to do that.
Number 67, David Brad, the left guard, on an excellent kick out. Did it again right there. Excellent trap blocker.
Just enough for the first. From the 32, it's Williams' time, and Sempe wraps him up pretty good, but the leg drive. Only running back is Williams, who has been featured this entire drive, and to get out of an ankle tackle inside the 20, mark him at the 18. More of the same on this march, though. Thomas is back in. The lone senior up there up front. Thomas inside the 5, a leap and a touchdown. But at the 10-yard line, a marker is down.
During the return, we have a hold on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Will repeat, second down.
Back him up to the 20. And second down and 11 there. One of the first real gang tackles. And Brian Greasy with his marching orders on 3rd and 10 from the Baylor 18. Here's coming with a blitz from Cruz for Shaw, and just overthrown. Despite the full layout by Russell Shaw. It'll be Craig Baker. There's no real explanation for it, but Baylor opponents have made only 8 of their last 26 field goal attempts. Nobody seems to know why. But that streak continues. Isn't that amazing? Baylor in the second half coming from behind the sticky mostly to the I formation. And a quick hitter to Darius Thompson.
Well, I doubt that the trash talk would make a difference.
Highly unlikely as it is. Gerard Douglas has been bottled up from the get-go. Again, Anderson across, in motion. Gerard Douglas for another loss. But Adrian, the junior out of Longview, Texas, seeing a lot of action again today. That is the end of the third quarter at Michigan Stadium, where it's all Michigan, 28-3. And as we begin the fourth quarter at Kyle Adams, over end kick will be returned by Russell Shaw. Twice reverses field, got a huge block by Ian Gold, and Shaw reaches midfield where it looked like he might lose 5 or 10 yards. Greasy from the 49, hanging one up for Woodson, makes the catch at the 17.
Is a superior athlete, and he has the concentration of the great.
Thomas to the 10. You thought of Michael Jordan. I thought of Lynn Swann. Had 2 catches today. He scored on one, and the other one was 34 yards. This is Patrick McCall on his first carry for no gain. His cousin Larry Michaud of Phi Slamma Jamma fame, University of Houston. Flag is down as Greasy's pass to the corner of the end zone incomplete.
His body weight drops down.
Down to still third.
Woodson is in all the way left top of your screen. Third and 22, and again flags are down for Woodson. Caught, touchdown if the play stands.
It'll be called back. It's an illegal formation.
All told. Back to the sidelines for the moment as McCall drops it. They do have Notre Dame next week, coming off the big win, but they have taken very much care of business. Here's a 51-yarder by Feely, the long field goal kicker, and this one is good. So Feely beats the Baylor Jinx, 51 yards, 31-3. Going to try and take advantage of that northerly wind that is back. This one caroms to Gerard Douglas. Let's go down to Dave Ryan. With absolutely no suspicions.
I have nothing to say to that remark.
Douglas. And the tackle by Eric Mays. Acknowledge what everybody else is saying. They just are very much lacking speed right now.
They just don't have the great speed.
We said Notre Dame right here. ABC will have the coverage of the Irish and Wolverines. Josh Williams had a shot at Watson. So did some teammates, and Watson turns it into a nice pickup. Atterbury's had success with the low bounders, including a career-best 72-yarder back in the first half. Tom Brady has come on for the Wolverines. 6'5", 223-pound sophomore from San Mateo, California. And the give to Anthony Thomas. Brady is listed number 2 behind Greasy.
Scott has been injured. He's had a wrist problem and a back problem. He hasn't really been able to practice, so it hasn't been really competitive.
Aaron Wright was the motion man, and Thomas. Question about his athletic ability, though. Draftee as a catcher out of high school by the Montreal Expos. Thomas, and he should have, or be very close for the first down. They were, or had to be a little bit wary of what he had in store for him today. Good reaction. interception by Sheldon Mallory to wrap up Thomas. Won a 5-0 defeat 2 years ago. Thomas picks his way into the secondary, and finally Cody wrestles him to the 27. 6'2", 229-pounder. Looking like the future of the Michigan ground game, which they signed him, and it was enough for the first. Aaron Wright in motion. Short gain for Thomas. People didn't expect either of those games to be close.
Danny Ford loves to go to Tuscaloosa and play that Crimson Tide.
Brady swings out to McCall, who hangs on this time, and a Michigan first down for Patrick McCall, or close to it. Another short pass. Thomas up the side. Flags are down, though.
There'll be a time when he'll know to turn on the Jets.
Penalties, the one area where Michigan has not been up to snuff today. And here comes another one.
Right to the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Michigan has been the picture of ball control efficiency. Thomas on a one-arm tackle. Easy to see why Nakia Cody, free safety, leads Baylor. And this is a 2nd and 9 carry by Thomas. You see the pile around him. And Thomas 120 yards in just his second collegiate outing. Howard also over 100. Incomplete from McCall. Covered up nicely by Cody. Good snap this time for Jason Vincent to handle, and a good kick. Cogdill feels it at the 5. You usually want 5 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Watson from his own end zone looks up, throws the interception at the 36-yard line. The pickoff for Michigan for Dwayne Patman. Before that interception by Patman. McCall. Brought down by Rodney Smith. We will select the Kelly Springfield players of the game. J.R. Ford with his first carry. A scrimmage.
It looks like everybody's trying to get a penalty, Dave.
Even with Notre Dame struggling. Ford brought down by Cody again. Ford, who had only carried 2 times ever his first 2 years with the Wolverines, twice on this drive. McCall gets the call this time, out of bounds at the 30.
So it's hard to tell.
Throughout the whole second half, very close to the vest. McCall, first down. Oh, Trainer suiting up a minute ago. This is Tate Shansky's turn to carry the ball. Redshirt freshman out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, getting his first look at quarterback as a Wolverine. So here's Kapsner from the 7. And Shansky turning the corner. Locked out at the 1. There's Shansky a walk-on. Taking a shot here in the 4th quarter. Shansky was not to be denied. On a chance to score.
How many walk-ons do you think there are that have scored in front of 106,000 people?
Plus a Baker PAT with 2:57 to go in the big house. Perkins thinks better of it. Baylor's 14th offensive play in the second half. Gain of 4 for Overstreet.
They haven't done that this week. They've played it pretty much straight up, and they've just been very physical. The Michigan defense is doing exactly what Coach Herman wanted them to do.
Watson having to wait too late. Brady one of 9 Texans, second only to Michigan as a source of Wolverine football players. Perkins, a nice pickup. Probably the best play. Watson this half 1 of 7 through the air, 8 yards. Another pass deflected and almost intercepted. So second and 10. Again, 4 wideouts. Roberts has had him mostly in the eye in a very conservative second half strategy intended. This is Overstreet. 2 defenders waiting for him. First contact from Leandre Brown, and got contribution from every running back they tried. Defensively, for the second week in a row, they were absolutely smothering. James Whitley, yet another true freshman. First one was a 14 all tie 22 years ago. This one from the late first quarter on, all Wolverines. Patrick McCall.
Get a big lead against a great football team. They want to keep it, maintain their intensity.
J.R. Ford. Residents in, scoreboard show momentarily. On the catch, Chris Roth. Roberts and the Bears fall to 1-2 as Michigan hopes to move up from number 9 with a 2-0 start. For Lloyd Carr, final again 38-3.